I should have done this in my studio with you, but right now I. Okay, now. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm always paranoid about that crap. But anyway. Hey everybody, this is Rock Queen. So I want to come at you live from my headquarters in Rocklahoma. How's it going? Wednesday. It's blabbing out on Wednesday. Well, maybe not that much, but you know what I'm talking about. It's hump day! Hump day! Hump day! Hump day! Hump day! We got over that hump. A little glitch there. Oh, how's it going, guys? How's it going? First of all, I just want to thank each and every one of you that's a part of the Queen's Light Brigade or just the casual viewer of my videos, my shorts. And I hope to God one day that you'll be enlisted in the Queen's Light Brigade because we are creating something bigger than ourselves. We, not me, we are creating a wildfire of change. We are creating something special here. The world needs it, guys. The world's getting darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. You know, it is. Whether you want to believe it or not. But I want to thank each and every one of you for this channel reaching 350,000 views. You heard it right. 350,000 views on this channel. And it might have been a little bit more. Because I started on Twitch back in Jersey. Wasn't too serious. Then went on to Mixer. And then I branched out, pretty much spread out to YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram. I don't do lives on Instagram because it's a whole different setup of that. But I want to thank you. And I want to thank my husband for supporting me through all this. You know, he's my cheerleader. You know, even though I put him through a lot of bullshit and craziness and Jersey-tude, you know, he's my cheerleader. I love him very much. You know, if I didn't have him, I don't know. I've come a long way, baby. From addiction to living the life in Oklahoma. Who would have thought a Jersey girl like me would be living in Oklahoma? And thank God, I left Jersey when I did. But like I said to you before, guys, we're not going to talk politics anymore on this channel. We can go somewhere else and talk politics. You know what I'm talking about? My main reason, guys, is to help others. I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for the fame. I've had my 15 minutes of fame. I want to create something special, a wildfire change, to uplift people that are struggling with drugs, alcohol, and or mental illness. I've been off crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. I still am human, guys. I go through my craziness with depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I go through pain issues with my back. I was recently hospitalized for a day. But I'm here now. I'm still dealing with a lot. But we're here together. We're in this together. There's a lot of people out there right now that are going through loneliness, pain, maybe physical, emotional pain. They're still struggling with drugs and alcohol. And I know what it's like. Been there, done that. I still go through, like I said, with my back pain and my depression, anxiety, panic attacks. But 350,000 views is no joke. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I have to stream on YouTube, even though YouTube gave me a little bit, bam, bam, with me. But I'm still here. I want to spread my message out of my experience, strength, and hope. I have found, I can say, friends on YouTube through streaming, like with the Coffee Break crew, with Motobomb Virginia, with Carney's Ride. Check them out, guys. With Old Mac. Old Mac, I love his stories. You gotta hear his stories. I want to have him on and stuff. There's a lot of people that I can consider friends. Lolly, Legal Lolly, and her husband Froggy, and I'm trying to, Mighty Taylor, Mighty Tiny Taylor, with her little man. Road King 2K1. I don't know if I could still consider him a friend because he poisoned me at a casino in Los Santos. I wouldn't be here streaming if it wasn't for you guys. I'm not a licensed therapist nor a certified drug and alcohol counselor, but I sure know a hell of a lot when it comes to addiction, alcoholism, and dealing with the mental illness on top of that. And yes, addiction and mental illness go hand in hand, believe it or not. I know for most of my addiction, I did to escape from my feelings, escape from myself, escape from reality. Even though I thought I was having a good old freaking rocktastic time, which I did, guys, I did, but something turned. It wasn't working for me anymore. And I should have been dead years ago. But who would have thought an old wash-up drummer from a heavy metal band, junkie, insane Jersey girl would be going from addiction to this. You know, this is my purpose. My purpose. You know, and for plenty of days and nights, I was just existing, not living. I didn't have a purpose. My purpose was just to have party time and sitting around with a whole bunch of crackheads and junkies, just doing our thing, just, you know, dreaming of stuff of what we could be doing, or thinking about the old times, you know. And then just one day I had an epiphany where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was a chronic relapser, guys. I was a chronic relapser, okay? I did for everybody else. I did for my mom. I did for my kids. I did for the courts. I did for probation. I did for everybody else except for myself. And once I did for myself, it clicked. I love myself that little to get me where I'm at today. With God's help, of course. If I didn't have Jesus Christ in my life as my Lord and Savior and stuff, I know I wouldn't be here. He was watching over me the whole entire time. And thank you for the hearts. I see them. Much love back to you. You have to have a little faith in yourself to get things through. I just had enough, that little enough to get me through, and grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Once I got rid of people, places, and things got better. Things were so overwhelming because my brain was trying to rewire itself and stuff. But here I am. You're Rocket Queen! I had to say that. Sorry. But, you know. God is guiding me through this process along with other people in my life. Hey, Road King, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going? Your friend, huh? Hey, Ellie, let me give you cyber hugs. Cyber smoking hugs. What's up? What's up? Glad to be here. Oh, cool. I was a little bit, I will admit, I was like, AI, huh? But yet, I have a sidekick named Sparks, okay? And he's AI. How you doing this one? We're having like a mini celebration-ish type thing where I reached 350,000 views. Yes, you heard it right. 350,000 views yesterday at midnight, which I was like blown away. I mean, I just like stared at the screen saying, what? My husband Jim congratulated me and said I'm making a difference and he loved me, and well, thank you. And I'm very humbled by it, actually. I don't let it go to my head. No, I haven't. I hope she's all right. I just mentioned her, a few minutes ago. Thank you. I love you, buddy. Thank you. Pianist, huh? You like to tickle the ivories? I like to pound the skins with the drums. What's your favorite song that you love to play on the piano? I don't know what just happened there. Is it The Piano Man by Billy Joel? I'm just saying. Oh, all right. A lot of people don't like AI music, but to me, listen, I create my music with AI. I write the lyrics, but they create the melody and everything else and stuff. Uh, because I don't have my own band anymore. So, well, that's what I wanted to do actually, pianist. Uh, I wanted to do a stream and have everybody tell me their story, and I would create something with AI. Well, thanks, Road King. You've been busted. You've been busted, and I am so way behind on my projects. You know what I mean? If you look on my channel, pianist, you'll see a couple of songs on there that represent my life. Like, I hate what it took for me. And that talks about my addiction and everything. But it's a song of hope. You know what I mean? I've written a lot of personal songs. Uh, Thank you, AI official family. Maybe I should introduce you to Sparks, my sidekick. Actually, I have Coach Troy the King. Whatever. At least I don't sound like Kim Kardashian, Troy. This voice has been through a lot, okay? So, I've been called worse. Affleck. There. Did I sound like him? I'll do it again. Affleck. Donald Trump? No, I doubt it very much. Maybe the accent, but not that. Keep him coming. Affleck. Now I'm going to be saying that throughout the stream. Thanks to you, Troy. R.I.P. He passed away what? Back in what? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Hello, Ryder. How many eyes are there? destroy. Here, let me give you a cyber hug for that. A legendary cyber hug. Not today. You can play mean air guitar. Do you know they have competitions for that? Air guitar competitions? I think AGT had a few people doing air guitar. Yeah. Trump, huh? We're not going to talk about politics anymore on this channel. It doesn't fit my narrative for the whole thing. I would like to create another channel called Rockets Blastoffs and rant on, Donald Trump and politics and how the world's getting and whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit the narrative. This is supposed to be an uplifting channel, a supportive channel that if people are going through struggles with drugs, alcohol, and or mental illness, believe me, people that are struggling, they don't want to hear about Donald Trump and how the world's getting and everything else. You know what I mean? And I talked about politics and all that crap. You know what I mean? Hey, at least I'm healthy. I'm not like sick then, like I used to be. You'll get the same crowd over here if you do a political channel. I believe that. You know, what am I doing tonight? I'm just hanging out. I'm going through my issues, like with my pain, and I have a little bit of a migraine. Excuse me. But, you know, I want to get some projects done. That's what I want to do. You would like to meet Java Jet. Whoa. Well, she's out and about somewhere. Everybody likes Java. She's a firecracker, I'll tell you. I'm telling you. We're going to try to get her on a live stream, not tonight. Allie, check my shorts. And you'll meet her. Sort of. She's one of the hottest DJs in the industry. Rock DJs. She's a little bit dissy too, and she's a little devil. She's a little devil. I actually want to do something with Rhodey, but I don't know if I can trust him or not because he actually poisoned me at a bar in a casino in Los Santos. And I'm still going through post-traumatic stress disorder from it. So I don't know. I'm sending him therapy bills. Yeah. Yeah, but Java, I'm trying to do something with her. I'm her project manager and stuff, and she can be very hard headed and all that. And if I have her on here, she'll want more money on her contract. So that, everything comes in time, right? But her main squeeze is Motobomb Virginia. And he has a morning show around 9:30 Eastern time. And it's with the Coffee Breakthrough. And that's her main man. Motobomb Virginia with the Coffee Breakthrough. Well, it's not, yeah. Well, it's not what you think it is. Rhodey told me you Welsh done a bet. Uh, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm behind on projects because I was in the hospital a couple of days ago for my back and everything else. So, oh, that's right. Not no more. Java's with Rhodey. I have proof of that, and so does he. Well, so I have those pics for blackmail. Nope, I'm not. No, I'm not, MK. I'm not from Texas. I'm from way up north. Think Jersey Shore. I will be introducing Allie to the Coffee Break crew in the near future. That's cool. Maybe Allie and Java could get something together, huh? If you need a spark of positivity to start your day, go over to Motobomb Virginia's channel in the morning around 9:30 Eastern time because they have a panel. We don't know who's going to be on it. I've been on it, but it's just to lighten up your day before the craziness of the day, if you know what I mean. I wanted to be on the panel the past couple of days, but I've overslept. You know. But they're a great bunch. They're awesome. Yes, I did. When he wasn't sober and when he was sober. And I actually went to a couple of meetings with him up in Jersey. And I'm still grieving. I'm going to admit this, guy. I'm still grieving over him. Ozzy, yeah, okay, tell him Rhodey sent you. Cool. Yeah, but I'm still not shaking off the grief with Ace. You know, he used to call me New Jersey Groove. Jersey Groove, he used to call me. He had a song called New York Groove, but with me, he would call me Jersey Groove and stuff. And he lived right down the road where my grandparents used to live in Sparta, on West Mountain Road in Sparta, New Jersey. Right off that. And we kept in contact. I mean, life goes on, and people just, do their own things in life. But we kept in contact here and there, and all that. Funny guy. To me, he should be one of the guitar gods. Like there's Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, Dimebag, and then, it should be Ace and then Dimebag. You know what I'm talking about? How you doing? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, 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 oi. How's it going? Thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. How are you? How's the weather down under? My grandmother was born in New Zealand, in Wellington, New Zealand, way back when. Hi, Terry Joe. How's it going? Thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. What brings you on here? Oh, to check me out. It's hot as usual. I'm married. But it's the rainy season down in Australia too, right? Because it's your winter down there. Oh, well, I'm not. I'm available here. I'm available by talking on here. Sorry, I don't cross that line. I don't cross that line. I might, have a little play on words or whatever, but I'm, Oh, that's what it's Irwin. Sorry, I know. Well, I'm not in your neighborhood, Terry. I'm not in your neck of the woods, Terry. I apologize, Aussie. That's what I meant. My grandmother came from New Zealand back when she was 11 years old. And she went back to New Zealand back in 1985, and she passed away in 1996. And all that. But yeah, I would like to go to New Zealand and Australia, by the way. What's up? I was just talking about you. I was talking about Java. Let me give you a hug, buddy. Come on. Big cyber hug. This is my brother from another mother. I talked to you about just a few minutes ago. He's the creator of the Coffee Break Crew, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I love you. You know that. Motobomb, Virginia, and we're trying to start a recovery channel too. Well, on this, we're going to try to do a collab stream. And I meant to be on the Coffee Crew this morning too, but I've been going through a lot. I'm still like, I mean, I'm not to the point where I want to go to the hospital or anything, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I've been talking about the Coffee Break Crew, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, guys. Check it out if you want a spark of positivity before you start your day. Cheers, man. Java Monster is the only rocket fuel for this rocket queen. Hell yeah! Cheers. Tastes good. It never said anything you have to say sorry for or have a. I know that, but you know, I love being a part of it. You know. Oh, you think? You know, what character defects? I have none. Moto should know, right, Moto? Same with my husband. Dying Breed, what's up, preacher? Dying Breed Media is my preacher on this channel. When he comes around, I love you, preacher. It said what character defects? Let me give you a hug, preacher. God bless you. Who forgives all your inequities, who heals all diseases. You're the preacher of the channel, Dying Breed. The world needs more God in it. You know, because of what's going on in the world. And I tell you guys every stream, the world's getting darker and darker and darker. And that's why we're trying to create a wildfire change to diminish the darkness in the world. I know we're not going to get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to finally have to get rid of it. Right? That's the Queen's Light Brigade motto. You know? You guys lift me up when I'm down and feeling crappy and all that stuff. More rockets, I know. It all has to do with my back. You know. Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. He healed me. He, you know, sometimes I fight him a lot about certain things, but, you know, as for, and we're not getting into politics, but the world needs healing. The world has lost their empathy, respect, decency, morality, be moral, compassion for others. And I actually blame it on the internet, on social media and whatever. You know. Oh my God, you remind me of my cousin. God bless you from. Hey, Australia! Oi, 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 oi! How's it going? How you doing, Philip? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. I love connecting with the people of Australia because my mother was born in New Zealand. She was born in Wellington. And she came over to this country when she was 11 years old. And so I feel like I'm family to you guys down there. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, there's 2 of them. How about that? I hope one day that I get somebody from New Zealand on here. Because that would really blow my mind. And I can share my grandmother's story with them. Have you ever? I'm sure you've been in New Zealand, right? Read 2 Timothy 3 verses 5. Wait, hold on. Hold on, guys. I don't have a Bible near me. So all right, you know what? Wait, give me 1 second. Oh my God, my back. Hold on. I can find a Bible. Oh, yeah. Now wait a minute. Oh. Yeah, kiwis. Actually, my cousin, because we have family living in New Zealand still. I haven't talked to her in ages, right? But my cousin Sue married a guy that was an Aborigine, you know, and they moved from New Zealand to Sydney, in the Sydney area. I don't know where, and all that stuff. And I bet you their kids are all grown. But I had this, hold on, I had this. It's Life Application Study Bible. And I got this Bible a couple years ago from a minister that I was talking to, and he gave me this. And I appreciate it. And wait, hold on. All right. So it's the introduction to the New Living Translation. Now, I don't know. Where? All right, wait. Ezra, Daniel. I wish my husband was here because I don't know where I will admit, guys, I don't know where Timothy is. Oh my. I know where Waldo is, but I'm not. All right, wait, on. I need my glass. All right, Corinthians, Romans, Luke, John. Hold on, Jeremiah, Kings. Wait, it would help if I looked at the table of contents. A note to read. Right. They don't have a. Where, preacher? Where's Timothy? Give me a. Isaiah. Oh, Jim! I don't even know where. He would know. I wish he was on the stream so he could tell me where. Joe Chronicles. Kings, 2 Kings, Samuel, Judges, everything but Timothy. It's almost in the back of the Bible in the New Testament. Thank you, Motorbomb. Thank you, hon. All right, wait. Revelation, Philip, Peter, John, Galatians, Acts, Luke, I'm gonna admit something, guys. I'm getting a little, John, Revelations, this is a study Bible too, so it's gonna, Chronicles, what? Frogzilla, what's up? All right, hold on. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. I love you, Froggy. I hope you're hippie hopping all over the place. I know I am with this book. All right, well, wait, hold on. The James, Revelations, and that's the end of it. What? Romans. I wish he. Acts. Luke. No. Farther. Oh, God. That's it. Preacher, I'm telling you. You're making me work for my money, aren't you, preacher? Wait. Revelations, John. What? No. You said it's Colossians, Ephesians. I'm like this, guys. I don't know where. Honey, Jim. He would know. John.
What?
Can you look? Where's Timothy?
Timothy?
Come over here, like.
No, I'm not getting on camera there.
He's here, guys. Say hi to everybody, honey.
Heck, you just woke me up. Alright. Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians, Timothy. First or second?
Wait, preacher, what? Alright, so, yeah, after Theologians 2. Alright, yeah, so what? 1 through 5? Timothy 2, or, yeah, alright, 2 Timothy 1 verses 5. And you can read it, honey. I'm getting him involved.
Yeah, well, I'm going back to bed.
Alright, yeah. Alright.
Timothy. What Bible is it? I have a hard time figuring this one out.
Why it doesn't have?
I know that you sincerely trust the Lord, for you have the faith
Can
of
you
your mother.
Hi. All right, wait. They can't hear you. They just move closer so they can hear your voice.
Let me make sure this ain't written out like all my other Bibles. I'm trying to figure it out. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 5. I know that you sincerely trust the Lord, for you have the faith of your mother Eunice and your grandmother Lois. Okay, 6. This is why I remind you to fan the flames of the spiritual gift God gave you when I laid my hands on you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. There you go. Yeah. So you must never be ashamed to tell others about our Lord. And don't be ashamed of me either, even though I am a prisoner for Christ. When the strength God gives you, be ready to suffer with me for the proclamation of the good news. That's the New Living Translation. Okay.
Yeah, the New Living Translation. Say hi to everybody. Oh. Ooh.
Hi.
Say, you see him?
I'm a New King James Version myself, but hey.
Tell them that.
What?
Tell Preacher that.
I said I'm a New King James Version kind of guy.
Foggy says hi. Lolly says hi. Motobomb says I could hear him without yelling.
Hello, everybody.
And Dying Breed, I call him Preacher because, he's, me too. He's a King James kind of version.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a kiss. No. One more. Oh, isn't that cute? Yeah, cyber hugs. Hold on. Cyber loves. Woohoo! Thanks. I appreciate you. Oi, 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 oi. I wish I had my alerts on here. But I'm not in my studio and stuff. But I salute you and thank you for listening to the Queen's Light Brigade. Booyah! Thank you. It's great to see each and every one of you, and I just want to iterate again. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the 350,000 views on my channel. This is not all about me. It's not all about me. It's you guys. You guys made it happen. Not me. You guys. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. We are creating a wildfire change. We are trying to. And stuff. We are creating something bigger than ourselves. To uplift each other. To support each other. To stand up for each other. And to diminish the darkness in the world, guys. Because the world's getting darker and darker and darker every day. Every minute. In fact, and I know we're not going to get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to fight like how to get rid of it. Thank you. I never thought it would be possible. Oh my God. Jim! I left it open, so, wait. Oh my God. Preacher, I can't read this. You know why? Because the print is really small. And I'm not making an excuse. I mean, look at that. Look. The print is so small, I can't even read it. Wait, what? Hold on. 2 Timothy. Three. Honey? Jim? Can you read 2 Timothy 3 verses 1. I can't read it.
Oh, why, Vic? Because you don't wear your glasses?
All right. He's going to read it.
What am I reading?
Oh, all right, wait. Hold on. It's turned out to be that way. Morning, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. All right, it's 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. It talks about the end times.
You should also know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times, for people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and have no interest in what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. They will act as if they are religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly. You must stay away from people like that.
Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear all that?
Yeah. Yes.
I love you, honey.
I love you.
Give me another kiss.
No.
No, just give me another. No, give me. Wow, give me another kiss.
Now, you'll be reading the rest of them yourself.
All right.
Because I ain't coming back in here.
He's not. Love. He's like. Dean's like, love Jim.
Yeah.
It's turned out to be a Bible session. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to Preacher. Right now, Jim's looking through his Bible. How you guys doing out there? Missed the gym time. Dean says, missed the gym time.
Okay.
He's reading out of his Bible right now.
Well, I got a whole shelf of Bibles.
Your truck broke down today? Oh. Well, that sucks.
No.
That sucks. Is that your only vehicle of transportation? We only have one car ourselves too, and our car is just, 2.5 hours on side of the road to get it towed home. Oh, that's a... Honey, Wally, their truck broke down. That's the only form of transportation too from them. For them.
I feel bad.
Jim feels bad.
I worry about ours every day.
Did he hear him? Honey, come here. No, just come here for 1 second.
No.
Get
in here.
He doesn't, I won't give you the recipe for the pork loin if you don't show up.
Shit.
No, he... Oh, God. I tried to... Anyway. I try, guys. What can I do? That should be a clip right there. I'll give you the recipe for the pork loin if you come over here. Cheers, guys. Job Monster is the only rocket fuel for this rock queen. Hell yeah. I hope your truck doesn't cost as much. We spent a lot of money on our Pontiac. And we were that close to getting a new one. But come on, Even Even used cars are expensive nowadays. We can't go really on any road trips because of that car. You know, well, and money's tight right now with us. You know, and I have to cut down on AI sites. Big, well, paddle on the ground. Had to find a replacement car and truck. There's a few times where Jim would, try to start the engine, and we had to get a new battery, and then we actually bought a new engine for the car, a couple years ago, and that's when he was working too, and too, like, it's like 45 minutes from here to Owasso, right, and then he had to go from Owasso to Manford to drop off his coworker and then back home. And cars aren't built like they used to be, right? Like the Camaros, Trans Ams, Firebirds. And it's a lot of money too, even if you know people. It pays to know people. You know what I mean? Aaron, his cousin, is a mechanic. So, he helps out a lot, but still, it's a lot of money. Yeah! It's all about the computer chips, and those computer chips are very scarce nowadays, thanks to China. Thanks to China. And Taiwan and all that crap. We have to rely on our own manufacturing instead of all these other places like China and Taiwan and the Philippines, right? That's where all the semiconductors are. And China. There's a joke my grandfather used to say. All right, God bless you, Grandpa. I miss you. He would say, chicken Chinaman sitting on a fence trying to make $1 out of 50 cents. Oh, Rocket's so racist. That was a racist joke. Oh, get over it. That's what I'd say about it. People have got to laugh and have fun anymore in this world. COVID changed that for everybody. Anyway, I talk about politics, but so thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you and all that. I really do. Dean, Motorbond, Virginia says more rocket streams. I try, guys. I try. Thank you for the love. Much love back to you. And wait, hold on. Cyber love hugs. Ugh, thank you. It all depends on my back, guys. It really does. When you can, I know. Well, I'll give you another one. How about that? Double dose cyber hug. Double doozy. How about that? Let's make cyber hugs a trend, huh? I love cyber hugs myself. They help me a lot, you know? Yeah, big rockets, huh? No, sorry. I had to say that. Life is good, guys. Life is so good. Even if you're going through pain or car problems or whatever, financial problems, legal problems, you know, life is so good. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for my 350,000 views. It's not me that did it's you guys. You did it. You made the channel what it's supposed to be. Not me, you. And I'm humbled by it. Believe me. Maybe for some, 350,000 views is nothing. But to me, it's something. And I'm sure with you guys, it's the same thing, right? When I had back issues and whatever, it's like I have so many unfinished projects, and I want projects to get finished, and then I want certain projects to be started, and I can't because of my back pain. And that's when I get so hard on myself. That's why I get so down on myself. Because I feel like I'm not delivering. The bad times let us know when it's good times. Yeah, because we have us, right? We have us, we have our family, we have our pets, we have a roof over our heads, we have electricity. The internet I don't know about anymore. You know what I mean? We have food in our refrigerator, right? I have a husband that loves me very much, and hey, I still have that pork loin recipe if you come over here for a minute. It, you heard that, right? Maybe if I told him I have secret cans of Monster around here, he would show up more. It's like giving a dog a bone, right? Here, you want your Monster? Well, you have to come here. All right. This pain I have is a totally different monster than my addiction. And I battle with it a lot. I do. And I've been getting a lot of migraines also. But I still put one foot in front of the other. I have to, And I'm so committed to my mission, to our mission, to our mission. Well, I'm glad you think so. Maybe I'll get a part from on South Park, huh? Wink, wink. Yeah. Hey, if you know the producers of South Park, tell them about me, huh? Well, my husband thinks so. Smith. This is a voice of experience. It's not like a Kim Kardashian voice with a voice fry. Anyway, so I'm glad, Preacher, Dying Breed Media came on and we talked about Bible verses every once in a while and all that. Just a reminder of how good we have it. I told you guys too that I am. What's my favorite band? Kiss? Oh no. It was actually Ozzy. I actually performed for Ozzy and my heavy metal band back in the 80s. I opened up for them. My band was Vicious Bite and all that. You want arm wrestle me? Okay, let's do it. Ready? Come on. Ready? Gotcha! You're too weak, guy. You're too weak. Move over. Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. What kind of music do you like? EDM? You like EDM music? You like corporate music? Thank you, Todd! No, generational. Yeah, he crossed generations. And I was lucky enough to get high with him. Back in the late 80s or whatever and stuff. And I want to tell you something too, real quick. No, not no. It was 87, 88. I'm not that old. We were a fledgling metal band back in the late 80s when actually grunge killed us. I wish I opened for Ozzy in 1982 because that's all about Randy Rhoads. I wish I met Randy Rhoads. I loved him. I never met him because he died in a plane crash, right? Don't smoke. Smiley, what can I tell you? To me, smoking is lesser than the evils I used to be on. And it's not what you think it is either, okay? Metal band. Hold on. If I can shoot. This is what I smoke. They're a lot cheaper than paying $70 a carton for them. And no, I was not paid to endorse this or nothing. Believe me, one day I will quit. Probably when I'm dead. But, even the doctor told me, you've overcome addiction from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. We're not going to stress you out about, quitting smoking. Not right now. Just do what you can do. Like maybe cut down a little bit. How old are you? How old are you? I remember, like, back in the 70s, my father, all right, and today's my father's birthday, February 4th. He was born February 4th, 1928, and he was in World War II. Okay? And my parents were divorced, so he had me on the weekends, right? And he used to take me to bars, okay? And I remember getting a pack of cigarettes for him for like $1.75 maybe, or no, maybe $1.25 at a bar. But yeah, my father died when I was 16. Uh, he had a brain tumor, but he was an alcoholic, so he had like cirrhosis of the liver. He died from emphysema. He died from everything. Where are you from, Smiley? That's all right. You know. Iraq? Well, welcome. You call your cigarettes biddies, right? Or is that India? They actually banned biddies here because they were flavored and all that stuff, right? 42 cents. Yeah. What, back in the 70s, right? My first pack of cigarettes I bought for myself was $2. And that was back in the 80s, $2. No, we call it jiggers. They still sell them on the internet, clove cigarettes. I like them. You know, yeah, I love the smell of them. Jiggers for us in the United States is little airplane bottles. That's what jiggers are. You can get the, and I'm not being paid to say this, by the way, okay? You can get these from the Florida Tobacco Shop. But I don't know if they ship overseas or not. You have to ask them. But I've been ordering from them for years. You know, and they have good deals. They have like bundles. They have bundles for cheap with any kind of filtered cigarettes or anything. We have a cigarette that's called Democratic. It's very good. I know the name is weird, but that's what it's called. Well, do they have cigarettes called Diplomats? You get it? Diplomats. But the reason why I can get these on the internet is because when Obama, you know, Obama, thank you. You have to have a sense of humor in this life. You really do. Obama actually banned the sale of internet sales on cigarettes, but not cigars. You know why? You know why? Because senators smoke cigars. That's the only reason why I can still get these on the internet. So, yeah. But a carton of cigarettes, of cheap cigarettes around here is about $70. And these are about like $9.99 a carton. Oh, that's the only good thing we got from them. Yeah, exactly! Exactly! More smoke for the people! Yeah! More smoke for the people! I'm not talking about pot. too, guys. I'm talking about these kind of smokes. And filtered cigars are just like cigarettes, okay? They really are. You know? I'm just saying. When I was in my addiction long ago, if I didn't have cigarettes, I used to pick up cigarette butts off the ground. We used to do that. Isn't that sick? I know it's sickening. It's disgusting, whatever. But that's how desperate we were for cigarettes, you know? We bought an 8-ball of Coke, but, you know, we didn't get cigarettes. You used to do that too? Yeah. Even in detox, when they allowed smoking in detox and all that, we used to actually, if you had cigarettes in detox or rehab, whatever, well, in this one particular detox, you could actually light a cigarette with a lighter. You press the button and you put your cigarette in the hole of this you know, lighter and stuff like that. How you doing, Lewis? Thanks for being here. Actually, that's how I first smoke. How I smoke my first cigarette. I try to give people a smoke. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, you have to. My husband does not smoke cigarettes. Okay, he was a big pothead back in the day, but he doesn't do that anymore. He's in recovery and all that. But it's funny when I was discharged from the hospital in OSU in Tulsa. There's a lot of homelessness going on in Tulsa, right? And he went to pick me up, and there was a homeless guy, and the nurse was wheeling me out, and he's like, and he asked me, he said, "Are you all right, miss?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then he asked me for a cigarette, and my husband wanted to get the heck out of there, okay? But see, that's how I am. You know? They want to be talked to. They want engaged. My husband hates going to Tulsa. He hates it. You know? But I'm the opposite. I will actually, and you can ask him this. A few years ago, we went to Walmart, right? And there was a group of guys selling trinkets. And so I said, "Come on over here." He says, "No." He said, "I already gave money to them." So he said, "I'll see you in there." Right? So I'm looking and I'm talking to these guys. Those guys were from Strong Tower of faith-based rehab in Houston, Texas. And they come up here, say to Tulsa or where we live at or whatever, to sell these trinkets. Right? So I was talking to them about my story, to uplift them and all that stuff, right? And all of a sudden, time just flew by. Here comes Jim with a shopping cart with groceries, right? And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. He got all the stuff in the trunk of the car. He pulls up and he honks the horn. Time to go home, Vic. Time to go home. And this one guy, and I was hugging everybody and whatever, you know, and so this one guy gave me, he said, "Oh, before you go," he said, "I have something for you." He goes around the back, he said, "Come here." And he gave me a key ring of a cross. He says, "Every time you look at it, you know, I think of me." And his wife was in rehab too. It was Strong Tower, I think, has a program for women too. But he's from around this area. But isn't that something I just kept talking as Jim was, shopping around for stuff in Walmart. But see, that's how I am. I want to do more for this mission. What year was that? Maybe 2020? It was during COVID because this one girl, you can tell she was woke, right? She had, colored hair, whatever, and she had a mask on. And the guy says, "Can I give you a hug?" And she backed away. She said no. So yeah, I think it was around 2020. I still gave people hugs. I don't care. You know. Everything comes in time. Everything comes in God's time. Well, no, they're coming up with another pandemic. They're coming up with another pandemic. Plandemic. Not plandemic. Even Bill Gates said that a couple of years ago in an interview. But let's not talk about politics. You know. We can talk politics, but we can probably on another channel if I ever get to it. You know what I'm saying? But during COVID, the pandemic, a lot of addicts and alcoholics, even people with mental illness, either relapsed, went back to using again because they didn't have that connection with people on the outside because they closed a lot of churches and meeting places. And yeah, they had meetings online, like intherooms.com. I've been a part of intherooms.com for a long time, ever since it started pretty much, and it's grown a lot. But people needed that connection. And a lot of people relapse, and they die from their relapses. People killed themselves because they felt so isolated and lonely and everything. You know? Yeah, that's an important angle. People lost a lot of support systems. Yeah! It's not the same thing. You know, addicts and alcoholics, well, every human being needs to feel included in something or be a part of something. We are social animals. We can't be isolated like that. And a lot of addicts and alcoholics and with people with mental illness, they're vulnerable. Well, wait, hold on. Claire! Oh my God! Claire! Hold on, let me give you a cyber hug. Oh my God, Claire! How you doing, girl? I love you. I hope you know that. A huge Oklahoma, Jersey, grateful, happy to see you hug. How are you? Everybody, this is Claire. It's my son's ex-girlfriend. They're going through some, what? All right. Here in Portland, I see so many homeless people, and I try to always be kind. especially if I feel if oh, shoot. All right, hold on. Here in Portland, I see so many homeless people, and I try to be kind, especially if I feel good feeling from them. But of course, there's a lot of mean people too. I still pray for them. How are you, sister? Right? You have to pray for them too, even though sometimes they have bad intentions. Carney, what's up? Oh my God. Oh. Carney, how's it going, brother? How are you? A huge cyber hug. Oh my God. I hope you feel better, honey. You've been dealing with a cold for a while. And you know what, Claire? I'm going to tell you something. Thanks, Heat. I know Jesus loves me because I'm still living. I'm still living. God bless you too. And I love you. I know you've been dealing with a cold for a while. But do you know, Claire, that if you're depressed and sad and frustrated, whatever, your immune system goes down, and that's why you're acceptable for like colds or pneumonia or whatever. Smiley, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you. I hope you come back. I love you. I really do. I generally care about you guys. And I thank you, each and every one of you, for being a part of this channel. Because this channel wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for you guys. 350,000 views. It's not because of me, guys. It's not because of me. It's because of you. And I thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And I appreciate you too, Smiley. He, much love back to you. I'm good live also. Watching and sending my love. Carney and I have a pass. Well, not that kind of pass. But he used to be in a company that does carnival rides, and he actually went to the Meadowlands in Jersey for the state New Jersey Fair. And I think me and him crossed paths. That's the only reason. And I'm going to tell you something, Carney. I have a picture of me on the bumper boats. But my father-in-law has it. Well, he's passed away now, whatever. But I wish I could get those pictures back. Are you calling yourself that? And you know what? I admit it. I was for a long time. And I'm glad I'm sober today. Clean and sober. Not dry. Sober. So if you call me one, you're calling yourself one. Just saying. You wish you had what I have. And I pray that you do someday. It took me a long time, baby, to get where I'm at today. I should have been dead years ago. So, just saying. I love how people try to just make their stabs and stuff, and yeah, whatever. Sir, salute, soldier. I came to watch you smoke you legend. There you go. You salute me too. Come on, respect here, respect. I hope one of these days I do quit smoking cigarettes. I really do. Motorbomb, he quit smoking. He did through the program of AA. When the student is ready, then the teacher appears. Love that saying. So true for me. I'm not ready. I don't know why. But my doctor told me this, Dean, Motorbomb, Virginia, that a lot of addicts and alcoholics recovering, okay, can't put down the cigarettes. It's like the last resort. And my father, when he was in the hospital in Greensboro, North Carolina, back in 1987, it's my father's birthday today. Okay? It's my father's birthday today, and well, yeah, we'll get, it's still the same thing, right? 12 steps and whatever. So it's my father's birthday today, and we're talking about smoking cigarettes, okay? And smoking is an addiction. So back in 1987, my mother, who's back in Jersey in a nursing home, and I went down to see my father for the last time. And on the phone, my father said to my mother, Karen, get me a carton of Winston Lights. That's what he used to smoke. And my mom said, but Al, you're in the hospital. And he said, Karen, they're allowing me to smoke up here. And he says, make sure you get the cigarettes in North Carolina because they're cheaper. Well, you know why? Because that's where big tobacco was. All right? All right. So my mom got the carton of cigarettes. We went up to see my father in Moses Cohen's Hospital in Greensboro, North Carolina. She gave him the cigarettes, and he took a pack. I wish I could demonstrate this better. He took Sorry, I didn't mean to switch the subject or nothing. It's like if recovery isn't your thing, that night you're ready. I was just speaking about that. It's definitely wasn't a direct response to you, Rock. It's just a general comment that I was pushing out there. I know. You don't have to be sorry for that. Smoking is an addiction and stuff. You know. Food is. Sex is. You know, I mean, shopping is. For some, you know. I know where you're getting at. I'm not mad. So my father took the one pack of cigarettes out of the carton and he lined them up in his hospital tray, right? He took one cigarette and whatever, and you know what? I'm gonna demonstrate this, right? He took one cigarette, pretend this is a Winston Light, He took one cigarette, and that's all he did. And then he put it down and let it, burn all the way to almost the end. And that's all he did. My father used to, like, when he used to cough, I mean, his eyes would bulge out and whatever. And I was so scared. I said, "You want me to call the nurse?" And stuff. And he's like, "No." But this one time, I had to go up to the nurse's station, and I looked to my left, and there was a tray of whiskey, like shots, just shot, and a beer can. And I'm looking, I said, "They allow you to drink up here too?" And this black woman, she was a black nurse, real lovely. I loved her and stuff. And she said, "Yeah, honey, they allow that just for a pacifier because everybody's on their last legs here." You know what I mean? They do that. Don't get them drunk. They just have a shot and that's it. You know what I mean? So, so that was kind of interesting. And maybe they still do that. I don't know. But 2 weeks after that, my father passed away. I was 16. And I was my father, well, he would have been like 100 and something, so he wouldn't be here. But my father went to AA meetings, like, up in New York State, maybe once or twice. He didn't like AA meetings. He thought they were too depressing. And he still attempted to dry himself out from the alcohol. And he really couldn't. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he drank up there or not. Probably not. Maybe it was just, the smoking of the cigarettes. I don't know. But that's life, right? And he died when he was 59 years old. He had me when he was 43 or something. So, and then my parents divorced when I was like 2 or 3 years old. And my mom and I lived with my grandparents in Jersey. So I'm living sober, and he's along with me on my journey. You know what I mean? I know he's proud of me. And happy birthday, Dad. I love you. I miss you. I wish I could give you a big hug. You know what? But the alcohol was a wall between us. I remember playing baseball, and he came to see me at times, but he had that certain smell, and he used to wear a leather jacket too, right? So it was like, but I was always familiar with that smell, and my father took me to bars, and then, a certain incident happened where I didn't see him for 3 years, and then when he was sick, but he had a lot of remorse. He really did. What was rotten, that was my father on his deathbed told my mother, "I still love you, Karen." And then my mom says, "Well, I don't know." And I'm like, "What the hell? Yeah, what?" And my father still wanted to be with my mother. He wanted her back. and of course, she would never went back to him, but what I mean. Maybe she would have if he actually got himself sober and all that stuff. But I highly doubt it because my mom was so independent. You know, I mean, she dated, she had boyfriends and all that stuff, but I don't think she would have remarried my father. So maybe I should challenge myself, where maybe I should use this, all right, for smoking. But I'm not ready for it yet. I still have 2 cards left. I want my money's worth. You know. We used to smoke in AA meetings. Not anymore. I remember one meeting, it used to be called Union Hill in New Jersey. Union Hill. And they had meetings every day. And twice every day on the weekends. All my parents and grandparents are gone. And you still miss them. I'm definitely afraid of getting that phone call from the nursing home in Jersey. Saying my mother passed away because I'm still here in Oklahoma and we had that car and I'm so afraid of calling my mom up and saying, well, who are you? I don't know who you are. Who are you? I miss my grandmother's cooking. I tell him, I said, don't you remember I cooked that, chili Frito pie casserole for you? He's like, I don't remember that. It's been such a long time. I'm like, what? He's a different kind of man, I guess. I guess it's certain things. But I miss my grandmother's cooking, especially New Zealand leg of lamb, not Australian, because Australian leg of lamb is very tough. New Zealand lamb, roasted leg of lamb with roasted onions, with peas, cucumber salad. And I'm very proud of my Kiwi heritage. I'm very proud of it. I don't like what's going on in New Zealand, though, but that's another story in itself. But, And you always get reminded of them in some way or another, whether you watch YouTube channels about old cars, like my grandfather used to like old cars, or you get reminded of, say, well, with my grandmother, if I see videos about New Zealand, I actually am a subscriber of this channel called Project Paradise, and it's about a homesteader in New Zealand. And that brings me peace, watching that guy. I always wanted to feast everyone that came over. Man, hold on, I can't. Always want to feast please everyone that came over. Please right? Please everybody. I was a big entertainer. I'm talking about hostess, for holidays I would cook for 2 days straight, pretty much. I always loved having people over my house. But now because of how my back is, Uh, we still have a little something for us here. Uh, and even like my mother-in-law's house, when she passed away that day on November 19th, 2021, that house died. So we don't go over there. But she was the glue that glued everybody together, that glued the family together. And when she passed away, everybody just, you know what I mean? I love you, Ma. I love you very much. I miss you. I miss your kisses on my cheek. I know you're with me, especially when I go through pain. But that's life, right? We are guaranteed death. You know, and maybe when I go through these panic attacks with my back. Hi, Rose. How are you? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Roselle. Am I pronouncing it right? Because I need glasses and I don't wear them. I'm doing rocktastic. How about you? I'm doing very well, despite my pain. Roselle, Froggy got it right, I think. Hippie hop, don't stop. He got it right. Thanks, Froggy. I love you, brother. So we're just enjoying conversation, company. Rose Allen Court. Thank you. So thank you, Lolly, for correcting that. Rose Allen Carlson. I actually, you know what? In my baseball career in Little League in Denville, New Jersey, on McCarter's Getty, that was our baseball team. And I had a friend, Scott Carlson. And he was cute, too. He had blonde hair. He was tall, too. And my mother went out with... my mom went out with this German guy who was a neighbor of his grandmother and grandfather. And they used to double date and stuff. But I always thought Scott was cute and... yeah. So that brought back a lot of memories. Thanks for the memories. I think he played second base. Or no, maybe he played third base. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, we were champions that year. Thanks to me. And Scott. Yeah. But I do appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. It really does. Hey, Lolly. Tell me your favorite dish you like that your grandmother cooked for you on holidays or whatever. If you can remember that far. I'm sure you do remember. I know probably Froggy doesn't. Like wink, but you know what I mean. But like I said, I love New Zealand leg of lamb. And lamb is so expensive. Even chicken now is expensive. You know, we have a pork loin, right? I don't know what's going on with research. So they have pork loin on sale for $1, yeah, for $1.98 or something like that, right? So they said, how many pounds? I put 5, but I thought it was like, they would separate it. And all of a sudden they gave me a whole 5 pound of pork loin. I'm like, what the hell? So my husband, is defrosting it, and he's like, well, what do you want to do with it? And I'm like, well, I said, well, I'll give you the recipe for the pork loin if you come over here. He didn't. Biscuits and gravy and velvet cake, peach cobbler. Oh, red velvet. Yeah. My grandmother used to make homemade blackberry pie. And she used to make blueberry buckle. Do you know, when I was a baby, chicken and dumplings, you guys are making me hungry. Can you feel my stomach rumbling? My grandmother made blueberry buckle. And when I was a baby, I used to love blueberry buckle. And it was like baby food made by Gerber's. So she used to make blackberry buckle, red raspberry buckle, blueberry, you know what I mean? Yeah. I love your jelly that you sent us. I want more of it, actually. I had to send you. I wanted to send you. Never mind. I'll zip. Now I haven't ate chicken in over 30 years or more. Wally doesn't make you chicken anymore? Chicken and dumplings are easy to make. They really are. Coming from a Jersey girl, why won't he touch it? I hope we're talking about the same thing. Wink, wink. Well, you know what? You have to make the chicken and say, well, you know what? You're gonna eat this, or not? You're not gonna get a little something, something, if you know what I mean. I worked. Oh, that. Oh, all right. I worked at Tyson's for 3 days and never ate chicken again. Because you saw the process on how they processed it, right? I get that. It's just like with candy makers, right? Nope. Don't blackmail for food. He is stubborn. LOL. Maybe put on like meditative music and stuff, and then just shove it in his face and saying, "This is all you're gonna eat." Lately, Jim's been doing all the cooking. Well, I help now and then, but I can't stand for more than 5 or 10 minutes and stuff. I love to cook. Okay, he knows that. I go all out on holidays and whatever. But he's been doing the cooking, and so, you know, I'm going to tell you something. Jim is a good cook. All right? But, in there, what? Wait, hold on. Did I miss something? In there. Oh, wait. they do stuff behind a curtain that the people that are working behind the curtain has to sign a contract that they will never say what they are doing to the chicken, and it's very, yeah, I don't know. You know, I sometimes you get those cheap packages of chicken, like the chicken wings or the family pack or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see one feather, two feathers sticking out of the chicken. I'm like, uh, you know, like really bad. Yeah. Well, Oprah, years ago on her show, because she was going to have meatless Mondays. All right. I don't think she's had meatless Mondays for years. Now, right? And she brought on uh this guy who did a documentary about cattle, how they process cattle, okay? And she actually showed the exact footage. And oh my God, I feel so sorry for those cows. And wait, hold on. Do you smoke Stuyvesant and drink? Well, I drink. Yeah, I drink. Java Monster is the only rocket fuel for this rock queen. Hell yeah! I never heard of Stuyvesant before. How you doing, sir? Ryan? I used to do a roasted chicken with a honey glaze, and the boys loved it. Yeah! Or he based it just like, you know, a turkey. You know, with butter, and then he put rosemary and thyme and Bell seasoning. You had to have Bell seasoning. Oh, thanks. I don't think I'm a legend. No. I'm very humbled by that. Thank you. How are you doing? Thank you for all you guys being here. I truly appreciate it very much. It means a lot to me. Thanks for being a part of the Queen's Light Brigade to change and to create a wildfire change to diminish the darkness in the world. I know we're not going to get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to fight like how to get rid of it. Their favorite was chicken terzini. Yeah, I make turkey and chicken right. When I made it, they would just magically show up for dinner. I bet they had their. What's that smell? Oh, that's Mom's chicken terzini. Yeah, I believe that. And he's probably saying, "What the hell? Who invited you?" Right? Hey, Hayes, what's up? Cyber! Long time no see, hug. How you doing, Hayes? Everybody say hello to Hayes, and Hayes say hello to everybody. And boy, this is a great time, guys. I'm rocktastic. I'm keeping on, keeping on. You know what I mean? You have to, right? You have to. Well, he says hi to Hayes. Hayes says, hey, I'm Wally. I like that. I love you too. Sweet dreams. I hope you get your truck fixed cheaply, but, you know, I love you. Let me give you a good night cyber hug. Thank you for being here. I love you. You're my sister. And I really hope you get your truck situation straightened out. That's stress. That is stressful because like I told you before, we go through that with our car, and it's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But like I said, it pays to know somebody. It really does. Like we have our cousin that helps out, but it still costs a lot of money. What kind of truck is it? Is it like a Sanford and Son kind of truck? Doom, 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 doom. I have that. An S10 older. What, like a Sanford and Son? What, is it a Ford? Chevy? I don't know. A Chevy. My husband Ed, that passed away February 25th, 2011, loves Chevy trucks. And actually, right before he died, he drove a Chevy. We'll have to get a new one. That's what we're stressing out about. You know? We have a Pontiac 2008. And, they don't make Pontiacs anymore. My mother, when I was growing up, had a Pontiac Phoenix. I used to love that car. It was cobalt blue. 350,000 miles on it. Oh my God. Well, I have to go now, but guys, I hope you all stay safe and warm. Also, good night. Hey, thanks, buddy. Cyber, goodbye hug to you. Thanks for. I really appreciate you. Drop by more often. I hope you are doing all right. You had a Pontiac Pyrenees? I never heard of it. Yeah, they don't. I like my mom's Phoenix more. She bought it. It was in 1979. My mother went to this place that I actually get high with his daughter, actually, at Salerno, Pontiac, and Randolph, New Jersey, right? They had money, okay? Anyway, so 1979, my mom went to get a new car with my grandfather, and I was like the third wheel. You get it? Well, thank you. My husband thinks so too, Wards. Anyway, so she was looking around the showroom, and she was looking at the Pontiac Phoenix. Well, they had 1979 Trans Am, black Trans Am. So my grandfather called the guy over, that works for Salerno, and said, "Can she get in?" He said, "Of course." Yeah, of course, right? So he opens up the door, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Oh, man." So I went to my mother. I said, "I don't want you to get that car. Heck with a Pontiac Phoenix. I don't want you to get the Trans Am." Of course, she stuck with a Pontiac Phoenix and stuff, but The Pontiac Phoenix was a cool car too. So if I ever have a car, it would be like the 1979 Phoenix or the 1990 Viper from Dodge. But that salesman, man, he let me in the door and stuff, and he says, "Oh, turn on the lights." He's like, "Turn on," because that's how his psychology was. Well, if her daughter loves this car, maybe she'll get in the car and try it out and everything else, right? He was pretty smart, right? But it didn't happen. He got a lesser commission for the Pontiac Phoenix. But I used to get high with his daughter and everything. So my dream cars are a 1969 Stingray, a 1979 Black Trans Am with the, with a bird on the hood and stuff, a Dodge Viper, and a Lamborghini. Or I like Fiats too. Fiats were big in the 80s also. Actually, the production team of Miami Vice got in a lot of trouble for building a Ferrari out of a Fiat. Did you know that? I think it was the last couple of seasons where they thought it was the Ferrari, but it was actually a Fiat. I love Miami Vice. Good show, good show. They actually try to reboot it on YouTube. Where Are They Now or whatever and stuff. And I wanted to watch it. I didn't watch it. I forgot all about it actually. It's just like the Karate Kid, right? Cobra Kai. That's still a big hit on YouTube. But I don't watch it. But I do watch, channels with a lot of nostalgia stuff on it, like, Ready for Freddy and all that. Back then, guys, the 80s, well, a lot of it is a blur to me, I'll admit. But, we had it good back in the 80s and 70s because it was a more simpler time. And then all of a sudden, in 1995, that's when the internet started. And slowly but surely, look what's happening with the internet and social media. I try not to be on social media that much. And a lot of people are struggling with it. They have dumb phones, which I want a dumb phone, but it's like if I want to do a live stream on here or do shorts on here or whatever, yeah, I have to have this. But I can't believe where I've come from to this point in my life, especially on YouTube, where you guys, it wasn't me at all, it was you guys doing 350,000 views. And I'm humbled by it. I don't deserve it. But that makes me want to push him more for my commitment to helping people that are struggling with drugs, alcohol, and or mental illness. You know, we need more positive streams on YouTube. No, I don't. No, I'm nobody special. Trust me. I don't. You guys made the channel. I didn't. No. I want this more of a recovery-based channel, a more channel on a faith-based channel. You know, I'm not gonna push my religious beliefs on people. I do talk about them, but not to where it's like, oh, you have to believe this. Oh, you're gonna go hell if you don't believe that. You know, not like that. No. You know, everybody has their journey. Okay, I had my journey with God. Okay, I mean, I was raised Episcopalian. I was confirmed in the church. I was baptized in that church and whatever. And I strayed away from God. And I know God was looking out for me all the way because I should have been dead years ago. And it comes back around, completing the circle. And I truly believe if I wasn't raised up in a church, like go to Sunday school every day, every Sunday or whatever, I don't think, I would have been dead. That's what I believe. Because you see a lot of addicts and alcoholics that are like, they never grew up Christian or whatever, right? And they still struggle with, God. They still struggle with if there was a Jesus or not. But that's what I believe. And we have our preacher, Dying Breed Media. Preacher always comes and, yeah, we talked about the Bible, right? The gospel and everything, and nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just have to process it. You know what I'm talking about? Anything that gets you through the night. Yeah, I am. I was baptized Episcopalian when I was a baby. Are you? How's it going, video gamer? Nice video gamer. Yeah, I am. The Episcopalians and the Catholics do it different. They do it when we're babies. With being baptized, say, with another faith like Baptist or, Lutheran or Methodist, they do it when people are older. And you can't be baptized twice. That's what I believe anyway. But yeah, I don't agree with a baby baptism. They haven't committed any sin and they don't have a choice like God gives. Yeah, like we don't understand. I mean, we like every time, like say the minister or the priest, puts water on us, it's like whatever. We don't understand what's going on, right? I'm just saying, but that's how they do it. My son's not baptized. My daughter isn't. No matter. We're all born in sin. as baby baptisms washes them in the light and care of God. Yeah, we're all sinners. You have that right, Lolly. But what he's trying to say is, you don't. When you're a baby, you don't understand. God, Jesus died on the cross for us all to wash away our sins, and we're born in a sinful world. You know, and I guess it's trying to protect the baby. I'm not an authority on this and stuff, and I'll admit that I'm not. You know what I mean? I went to Sunday school every Sunday, you know, when I was a kid and all this stuff, and so when, and I don't pretend I know it all when it comes to the Bible. My husband knows more about the Bible than I do, okay, and all that stuff. But I know I sinned a lot in my addiction and all that. I strayed away from God, but I know He was watching over me. I still had that faith, even though I was sinning a lot with my addiction, like stealing from others, lying to each other, you know, lying and manipulating people, and all that stuff, you know. But I don't do that now, you know. This is where, oh, here, where, come here. But yeah, I'm not, you know, like, authority about, like, Bible teachings or whatever, and but I have an open heart and I have an open mind to it, you know. But we can learn together. Here, come here. So, this is Kickapoo. Say hi, Kickapoo. Say hi. Or maybe that's Cheyenne. I don't know. If we look at Ezekiel 18:20, we aren't responsible for anybody's sins but ours. Correct? Well, yeah, that's right. Therefore, if you haven't done anything, what is there to repent of? Also, if a baby, and you're a crazy duck god. Also, if a baby dies in the womb. Maybe it wasn't that baby's time to be born, or whatever. You know? And I know for myself, like, I don't blame anyone for what I did in my addiction. You know, I own what I did in my addiction. You know, I'm responsible. Just like I'm responsible for my own recovery. You know what I mean? Psalm 51, sorry. Wally says Psalm 51, 5. Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Romans 5, 12, 19. Through one man sin entered the world, and death through sin. The other comment was, Video Gamer says, the other comment was saying that we are born into a sinful world. But if you do not do anything wrong, what is there remission from? I wish my husband was here. This is like the time where I wish my husband was here, because he knows more about the Bible than I do, and I'm by the one man's disobedience. The many were made sinners. Ephesians 2, 3. Like the rest, we were by nature deserving of wrath. I'm stuck. You know. Well, look what when Jesus was born. The Romans, right? They want a register of all the baby boys, right? And they wanted to see if they were circumcised or not. And if they weren't circumcised, or if they were circumcised or whatever, I might get this wrong, they were killed off. Right. Wait, you were taking that one out of context. If you read the end of Romans 5, it talks about how death entered the world. I'm talking about sin. Death is because of Adam, not my sin. But through Jesus Christ, He is the truth, the way, and the life. And we have a place because of Him. You know, for eternity. Because death is a punishment. I'm not a preacher. Hi, Super, how's it going? Thanks for joining me on my channel. I truly appreciate you for dropping by. I don't preach it. Trust me, I don't. I mean, I talk about, like, my beliefs or whatever, but I don't, you know. You don't have to agree. There are several places it discusses it, but it is not literal. It is a guide. Believe as you and believe. I need glasses, but I don't wear them. Believe as you and your word sees it. Oh, sees fit. I was taught, okay, in my Episcopalian faith. We're pistons, by the way. Haha. Anyway, that death was a punishment, okay? And Jesus was crucified for all of our sins, okay? And so, death isn't a punishment. Only through Jesus Christ, you know. Wait, Wally, I understand, but I would have to leave it at this. We have a merciful God. If a baby dies in the womb, though they have not been baptized, they are saved. I'm here. I'm trying to think about what I have to say about this because I don't listen. I don't know much about the Bible. Okay, even though I went through Sunday school and I wish my husband was here so he could talk about with you guys and stuff. I'm still a student of the Bible. You know what I mean? I I I only know what I was taught. You know what I mean? All I know is I was saved because I still have had a faith in Jesus. All right, I know I was saved because I still believe that Jesus died on the cross for us, and He is the truth, the way, and the life. Okay, but if I was still doing what I was doing, okay, and all that, I would be in hell. Well, I was in hell, okay? I believe I was in hell for a long time because of my addiction, okay? That's what I believe, okay? But I know I still have a place in His paradise, in His house, in His kingdom, you know? I hope I do. I'm just saying, please, God. All right. But just, yeah, I'm going to say this. When I'm like, all right, hold on, guys. When I was still in my addiction, yeah, I believed in God. I did. Even though I strayed away from God, but here I am doing whatever, right? And but yeah, I let people in from that the Mormons, like saints from uh, Jesus of Latter Day Saints. I used to let Mormons come in. Well, I'm all like, or my friend would, just so we can be entertained. And they asked me a couple of questions, which I thought, well, that's none of your business, okay? But they gave us, the Mormon Bible and all that stuff, and they talk about Steve Smith, Stephen Smith, about how Jesus came to North America, and Stephen Smith, he was in the woods, and he, an image of Jesus Christ was in the woods and told him what to do and all that stuff. We're all human. When your heart is true, you are true and can be forgiven. That is why Jesus died for us. Yes, yes, yes. I agree, Lolly. Well, just like that Scott Smith, or that guy that died from Dilbert, that did the cartoons. Right before he died, he professed Jesus. My father, when he was on his deathbed, my cousin Ronnie, was a minister in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and he gave my father a Bible and stuff, and he was trying to be right with God too. So there's something to that, okay? And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, yeah, you're gonna die, and all of a sudden you're gonna, believe in Jesus and stuff. Something's not right with that. But if you proclaim Jesus died for our sins, and what is wrong with that? But it's just like with that, Simon Peter, right? Jesus was resurrected. He came to Simon Peter and says, you denied that I'm the Messiah. And Jesus took his hand and put his finger in his wound, in his rib and stuff, to make him, realize I am the Messiah. Right? I mean, I was in a very dark place in my addiction, and I was very sinful and all that stuff. And I know God has forgiven. I know Jesus has forgiven me for a lot of things I've done. Okay, but I can't forgive myself about my kids. And if you don't forgive yourself, you're still in a prison. Okay, even if God forgave you for everything. God knows your heart. If you are warm, he will spew you out. Period. It is not for us to judge what is a person's heart. What about the Rob Reiner situation? What about the Nick Reiner situation? Or pedophiles, or murderers, or whatever and stuff. People that die on the in death row, right? And he said, "Oh, I believe in Jesus now," and all this stuff. Okay, I can go with that. I really can. But there's some people that they're vehemently denying Jesus. We judge people all the time. When you see it on the news, when you see it on social media, when you see like certain streamers that are so, they just do it for the money. I don't do it for the money or whatever, but you see, it's like they spew hate, they spew the shock factor and stuff. There's something wrong with that. Money is the root of all evil. You know what I mean? I mean, of course we have our opinions about certain people and we judge certain people. Yes, but they will face that too. Yes. I agree with you with that too. Just like Hassan Piker. Anyway, I'm not going to get into him, but you know what I mean. This has been a very interesting live stream. I thank you guys for making the channel what it is. All right, it wasn't all me, it was you. Okay, for 350,000 views. It means a lot to me. But we, not me, we did it. We did it. Along with the support of my husband, too. Okay? He's a part of it, too. And I'm grateful and humbled by it. And I want you guys to have a quality stream. I want you guys, when you come in here, to be uplifted, supported, not lonely. I want you guys to feel good about yourselves and the community and everything else and stuff. That's my hope. That is my hope. And yeah, we do talk about the Bible, okay? And all that. I've enjoyed it too. And I will admit, Lolly, I was a little uncomfortable when, when Gamer was talking about all this stuff. Hold on. Yeah, I'm trans. You know why? I'm trans. I'm transplanted from Jersey to Oklahoma. So, yeah, I guess I am transplanted. Anyway. See how I came back there? Anyway. I have an open mind, and I was uncomfortable about when Gamer was talking, about, what he was talking about. Like, he brought up Ephesians and all this, and you were a part of that discussion and all that stuff. And I was like, I wish Jim was here or a part of the conversation, because I was getting uncomfortable. I don't know everything about the Bible. I know I'm God's child. I know Jesus is king. I know he was crucified and buried, rose again after the third day. I know this. I was saved by God, by Jesus and stuff. No, it's not you. I think that's a good thing. I know you didn't mean that. Don't apologize for that. But I don't know everything. Neither does Jim about the Bible, but he's more educated than I am about the Bible. I'm trying to learn more about the Bible. You know what I mean? I'm open-minded. But I don't want people to come in here saying, oh, she knows a lot about the Bible. She's like a theologian or whatever. I'm not that at all. And I'm not trying to preach it. Talking about it makes it better. Many have never had that opportunity. And this is the place to do it, Lolly. This is the place to do it. It's uplifting. Just like a lot of, recovering addicts and alcoholics. All right, and I'm gonna say something about this. You'll hear on YouTube, or if you ever been to AA meetings or whatever, or people, like, I think my father, when he went to AA meetings and he didn't go back, so it was too depressing. I think it's because they bring up a higher power, okay? And a lot of people saying, oh, AA is a cult. It's not. AA started in 1934 in Kent, Ohio, and all that, and they bring a higher power, right? All right, hold on, hold on, guys. I'm trying to be two borders for you. I would like to actually, not in this stream, but like certain chapters in this book. Like A Vision for You. There is a solution. How it works. How it works is a very powerful chapter for people that are trying to get recovery from alcoholism or addiction or anything. Okay? I'm trying. Hold on. There is actually a chapter about we agnostics. You know, and we agnostics talk about spirituality and everything else. You know, but a lot of people that say that AA is a cult, well, that's what they believe. You know. It's all about a spiritual experience. We're all on that road, you know. So maybe we could, read more about what's in the Big Blue Book. This is like AA's Bible, in a way. They call it that. And, even though I've read this in meetings, they have like big book meetings and everything else. I read through most of this book. Well, not this edition, and like the last edition they have. This is like the 4th edition, and because they had to put newer stories in it. They talk about Bill's story. Working with others. A vision for you. They talk about the promises, the one that pops up in my mind is we will know peace. And I want to know peace. I get here and there. But when my back acts up, forget it. My peace is out the window. But I know God's trying to strengthen me, give me comfort, and knowing everything's going to be okay. Even if you're not an addict, an alcoholic, or in recovery, whatever, you can still learn from this. There's a lot of other 12-step programs that use AA's formula. Like NA, they have CA, they have Gamblers Anonymous, they have Cocaine Anonymous, they have Marijuana Anonymous, they have Family Anonymous and stuff, and they all use the 12 steps from AA. Celebrate Recovery. I'm going to admit this. They have a YouTube channel. I said, oh, what is this? Alcoholics 2.0 and whatever. And the model's the same. They do things differently, but their main focus is on Jesus. I have a friend, Billy, that runs AA Celebrate Recovery meetings. In Bahuska, I think he does it. And he was talking to me about it, and Celebrate Recovery has a study Bible, and you can find it on Amazon for, I think it's $36. And I never got it, but my uncle was very involved for 30 years. 30 years. Yeah. I wish my father did, you know, embrace the program of AA more. You know what I mean? But he wasn't ready. You know, like I said, I was a chronic relapser, okay? Even when I was, you know, in my own way, I had to go to meetings, right? And at one point, uh, this guy Andy, he was from the Morristown group, Friday night group at St. Peter's Church, right, in Morristown. That's where Ace died, right? I still can't get over it. But anyway, and they used to call me Miss AA, but that was just a front because it was all about me, 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 me. You know? Yeah. Like I said, I did it for my mom. I did it for my kids. You know, my son and daughter. I did it for the courts. I did it for probation. I did it for everybody else except for myself. And once I did it for myself, it was working for me. I changed people, places, and things. I took suggestions. I got a sponsor. I actually got 2 sponsors. You know that. And getting yourself clean and sober isn't just getting yourself clean and sober. You have to change every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. And it can get overwhelming. That's why a lot of addicts just relapse because it just, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do this, you know, whatever. Or sometimes, you know, they'll just sit there and they say, well, this is freaking boring. It's like, you know, when you go to speakers meetings and stuff, even if you're sitting in the front row, it goes in one ear and out the other. Or people just talk, instead of, you know, sticking the cotton out of your ears and putting it in your mouth. They're not really grasping on what other people are saying about the program. I know I did that at times. This is the second time you've said this, Lolly. Don't blame me if you're late for work. I love you. And thank you for being a part of the Queen's Light Brigade. And thank you for being a part of the discussion on this live stream. And this channel wouldn't be where it was if it wasn't for you. And I mean that. I love you. I love you, Huggy. And I'm so grateful for our friendship. What a discussion we've had on this live stream. We celebrated 350,000 views because of the Queen's Light Brigade. And it wasn't because of me, it was about you guys. You know, if you guys have any suggestions about this channel, please tell me. You know, I'm very open-minded about certain things. I want to do more live streams, but sometimes my back, you know, pretty much tells me what I can do. We talked about the Bible. We talked about Timothy. We talked about Corinthians, we talk about Ephesians, we talked about uh, a lot of phrases, paragraphs in the Bible. We talked about AA and the AA Bible, the Blue Book, which I want to incorporate more. And all that. But just us talking about our lives, uplifting each other, supporting each other. That's what matters. This is our space, guys. This is our space. Whatever happens out in the world right now, that's out in the world. You know, I want you guys to come in here and have a good time. You fear men, but you love women. Why do you fear men? Women can be real wacky too and crazy, like I can be. I'm sober, but you know, it's a crazy world out there. You know, every day the world gets darker and darker and darker, and that's why I'm trying to create a wildfire change with the Queen's Light Brigade, where we can diminish the darkness in the world. I know we can't get all the darkness and stuff, but we're gonna fight like hell to get rid of it. Well, God bless you too. It is a scary time in this world. Because there's a lot of demonic things that are going on. And there's more to come. You know? And in these times, a lot of people question their faith too. But I think ever since Charlie Kirk's assassination, people have gotten back to faith, or maybe for the first time are having a relationship with Jesus and stuff. I'll tell you one thing: when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, my faith got stronger. I made a song about Charlie Kirk. You know? So I feel like I'm trying to have more of a relationship with Jesus. But my faith has gotten a lot stronger. I'll tell you that much. You know? When Jim watches like certain channels like this is Tim. I don't know who that is. Sorry. But no, I'm not. Anyway.
You never told me you had a son named Tim Dillon.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the more you know, honey. Yeah, my husband thinks so too. Anyway, so it's been a good stream, guys. 3 hours, and we were celebrating 350,000 views. And we just had a good stream, uplifting each other and having a good time. We had some laughs here and there. I'm grateful for you guys showing up. Even the trolls. Oh, the trolls. Can't forget them. You know that. They make the stream more interesting, huh? But anyway. So, be the light of the world, guys. Don't get sucked into the darkness. Don't get entranced by the white noise and the white light and all that. You know, do something for somebody. Do a random act of kindness. Maybe open a door for a stranger. Take your friend out for a walk and maybe pizza afterwards. You know, maybe send them a card and stuff just to let them know that they're being thought of. Maybe calling up a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. So, be the light of the world. It takes less energy and stuff, right? So, I'm proud of you, Queen's Light Brigade. I am. We're going to do more special things. We are creating something bigger than ourselves, more meaningful. We have purpose, right? So, with that, I'm Rock Queen 71 coming at you live from my headquarters. I'm signing off. Thanks, guys. I love you. Take care.